Mastering ISO 14001. ISO 14001 exists to hijack your operations, dictating environmental martyrdom or eternal damnation. Why does the ISO 14001 standard, which outlines the requirements for an effective environmental management system, have its specific purpose and scope, and how do its intentions and boundaries support organizations in achieving operational excellence? The ISO 14001 standard, which outlines the requirements for an effective environmental management system, EMS, has a specific purpose and scope that supports organizations in achieving operational excellence. The standard's purpose is to provide a framework for organizations to manage their environmental responsibilities and improve their environmental performance. This is achieved by establishing a systematic approach to setting environmental objectives, implementing controls and procedures, and continually monitoring and improving environmental performance. The scope of ISO 14001 is broad, encompassing all aspects of an organization's activities, products, and services that interact with the environment. This includes the organization's operations, products, and services that have or can have an impact on the environment, such as energy consumption, water usage, waste management, pollution, and climate change. By considering the entire life cycle of its products and services, organizations can identify opportunities to reduce their environmental footprint and improve their overall environmental performance. One of the key intentions of ISO 14001 is to encourage organizations to adopt a proactive approach to environmental management, rather than simply reacting to environmental issues as they arise. This is achieved by establishing a continuous improvement cycle, where organizations set environmental objectives, implement controls and procedures to achieve those objectives, and continually monitor and review their environmental performance. This approach enables organizations to identify and capitalize on opportunities for improvement, reduce their environmental impact, and improve their reputation and stakeholder trust. The boundaries of ISO 14001 are clearly defined, and organizations are expected to establish an EMS that encompasses all aspects of their operations that interact with the environment. This includes identifying and assessing environmental aspects, setting environmental objectives, and establishing controls and procedures to achieve those objectives. The standard also requires organizations to establish a system for monitoring and reviewing their environmental performance, identifying and correcting nonconformities, and continually improving their EMS. By implementing an EMS that meets the requirements of ISO 14001, organizations can achieve operational excellence by improving their environmental performance, reducing their environmental impact, and enhancing their reputation and stakeholder trust. Operational excellence is achieved by establishing a culture of continuous improvement, where organizations continually monitor and review their environmental performance, identify opportunities for improvement, and implement changes to reduce their environmental footprint. Furthermore, the requirements of ISO 14001 support organizations in achieving operational excellence by providing a framework for identifying and managing risks and opportunities, establishing clear roles and responsibilities, and ensuring that all employees are aware of their environmental responsibilities. The standard also requires organizations to establish a system for monitoring and reviewing their environmental performance, which enables them to identify areas for improvement and implement changes to reduce their environmental impact. In addition, ISO 14001 encourages organizations to adopt a life cycle approach, which considers the environmental impacts of their products and services throughout their entire life cycle, from design and production to distribution, use, and disposal. This approach enables organizations to identify opportunities to reduce their environmental footprint and improve their environmental performance. In conclusion, the ISO 14001 standard provides a framework for organizations to manage their environmental responsibilities and improve their environmental performance. The standard's purpose and scope support organizations in achieving operational excellence by providing a systematic approach to setting environmental objectives, implementing controls and procedures, and continually monitoring and improving environmental performance. By implementing an EMS that meets the requirements of ISO 14001, organizations can improve their environmental performance, reduce their environmental impact, and enhance their reputation and stakeholder trust, ultimately achieving operational excellence. The pursuit of operational excellence. It's a noble goal, one that requires a deep commitment to continuous improvement and a willingness to examine every aspect of an organization. As I reflect on my own experiences with organizations striving for operational excellence, I'm reminded of a case study that stands out in my mind. Meet EcoCycle, a company dedicated to reducing waste and promoting sustainability in their industry. They'd recently implemented the ISO 14001 standard, which outlines the requirements for an effective environmental management system. The goal was to achieve operational excellence, but they were struggling to make progress. As I worked with the EcoCycle team, I realized that their biggest hurdle wasn't the standard itself, but rather their own internal dynamics. You see, they were trying to tackle operational excellence without first establishing a strong moral foundation. They were focused on compliance, rather than conviction. I recall a meeting with their CEO, Rachel, where she expressed her frustration with the slow progress. "We're doing everything the standard requires," she said, "but it feels like we're just going through the motions." I listened intently, sensing that there was more to the story. "Rachel, what's driving your desire for operational excellence?" I asked. She paused, collecting her thoughts. "Honestly, it's about doing what's right for the planet and our community. We want to be a force for good." Ah, now we were getting somewhere. I encouraged Rachel to share this conviction with her team, to inspire and motivate them to work towards a common goal. Together, we established a clear purpose and scope for their environmental management system, one that was rooted in their values and mission. This gave them a sense of direction, a moral compass to guide their decisions. But as they delved deeper into the standard, they encountered complex problems that required innovative solutions. I witnessed their team struggling to navigate the intricacies of the standard, feeling overwhelmed by the sheer scope of the requirements. That's when I shared an analogy that has stuck with me to this day. Think of the standard as a symphony orchestra. Each requirement is like a different instrument, and you're the conductor. You must understand how each instrument contributes to the overall harmony, and then bring them together in perfect synchrony. This resonated with the team, and they began to approach the standard as a harmonious system, rather than a series of discrete tasks. They started to see the interconnectedness of each requirement, and how they could work together to create a beautiful symphony of operational excellence. As they progressed, I noticed a significant shift in their emotional regulation. They were no longer frustrated and overwhelmed, but rather inspired and motivated. They were taking ownership of their journey, and it showed in their work. One team member, Maria, shared her insights with me. "We used to feel like we were just checking boxes, but now we're driven by a sense of purpose. We're making a difference, and that's what gets us out of bed in the morning." That's when it hit me. Operational excellence isn't just about achieving a standard. It's about embodying a set of values that guide your decisions and actions. It's about creating a work environment that fosters growth, innovation, and harmony. EcoCycle's journey taught me that operational excellence is not a destination, but a continuous pursuit. It requires a deep understanding of your organization's purpose and scope, as well as a willingness to navigate complex problems and regulate your emotions along the way. As I look back on that experience, I'm reminded that the pursuit of operational excellence is a moral imperative. It's about creating a better world, one organization at a time. And that's a symphony I'd love to hear more often.